Guten Tag alle, Herr Wallis hier. Ich hoffe, dass es euch gut geht. Today we are going to talk about the adjective endings and endings for ein words and for der words. This is a relatively complicated topic, so it's recommended, I guess, that you know a good bit about the cases before you see this video, and you need a good background. This is normally a German 3 topic for me, so we're going to talk about it though here. Okay, so what I've got are two charts here. You can see that I have four cases represented, nominative, accusative, dative, and genitive. Just as a quick review, the nominative, remember, is the subject of a sentence or is in the predicate nominative. The accusative is a direct object of a sentence in German, or it is the object of an accusative preposition. Dative is the indirect object or the object of a dative preposition. And finally, genitive is forming or showing possession in German. So here we go. When something's nominative, if it's a masculine word like Mann, it's going to be ein alter Mann, eine alte Frau, ein altes Auto. So because the indefinite article does not really show us what the gender is for the noun, this is the der, die, and das, if you will. This is reflected onto the adjective. So that's why you're seeing the endings er for masculine, e for feminine, and es for neuter nouns. Okay, taking this over to the accusative, and you'll notice this also on this chart down here. From the nominative to the accusative, the only thing that's going to change are the masculine nouns. So it's going to be einen alten Mann. And the feminine and neuter nouns will stay like they were in the nominative. When you get to the dative and genitive, there's good and bad news. The good news is the adjectives all end in en. Okay, that's really good. The bad news is you're going to have to change the ending on the indefinite article here. So it's going to be, for der words, they changed to dem. So this is going to be reflected onto the indefinite article, einem alten Mann, einer alten Frau. This is because feminine nouns or die words will change to der, and this is added on to the indefinite article, einem alten Auto. Okay, for das words. For genitive, remember der changed to des. We're going to take that es, put it on the indefinite article, eines alten Mannes, einer alten Frau, und eines alten Autos. Okay, so now let's talk about the der words. These include the words dies, jed, welch, und solch, and we'll kind of talk about these in a minute. But let's look at our chart first. So, dieser alte Mann. If you think of it as, if you're familiar with the other chart, der alte Mann, this is the same thing really, because the er is reflecting that it's masculine, so the adjective just takes an e. All the adjectives here are going to take e's for feminine and for das words. But for das words, you're going to reflect that it's neuter in dies, so you have dieses alte Auto. For the plural, diese alten Schuhe. Okay, and the accusative, diesen alten Mann, everything else will stay the same as it was in the nominative. And when we get to the dative, remember, the good news is that all the adjectives are en. Bad news is you have to change these articles, or these der words, so it's diesem alten Mann, mit diesem alten Mann, mit dieser alten Frau, mit diesem alten Auto, mit diesen alten Schuhen. And what I did was took the plural of Schuh, which is singular, Schuhe, plural, and I add an extra n to it because this is the dative plural, and you have to do that. So now the genitive, der changed to des, so dieses, die to der, dieser, das to des, dieses. And one thing in the genitive you'll notice, if it is a one syllable word and it's masculine or neuter, it's going to add an es to the end of it, so Mann, Mannes. If it were a two-syllable word like Bruder, you would only add s, so it would be something like dieses alten Bruders. Okay, and so then the plural. Okay, so I realize this is very complicated, and if you are totally lost, then probably you should go back and review one of our earlier videos. Okay, so the 7 so-called der words, welch, dies, jed, solch, manch, which is used mostly for plural nouns, and jen. Okay, the so-called ein words in German, ein, which is of course the indefinite article, a, kein, which is used to say negate nouns, mein, the possessive pronoun, dein, yours, informal, sein, his, hers, ihr, it also could be theirs. Use sein for neuter nouns as well if you're referring back to it. Unser, euer, which in here in South Georgia or in Georgia period you would maybe say y'all, which is sort of a southern slang English, and then ihr, your formal. So das ist ihr Haus, that's your house, meaning formal. It could also mean her house. You have to look at the context. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples of how we do this. All right, so in this sentence, I have not met this old lady. The old lady here is the direct object, so it's accusative. And the accusative, remember, der changed to den, die and das stay the same. So die Frau is going to stay die Frau. But we want to say this, so we're going to take the E from the feminine and put it on dies, and we get diese. Ich habe diese alte Frau nicht kennengelernt. For every jedes, because that's das Auto being used as a subject, so it's nominative, so the es is on jed to show that it's a neuter noun. Jedes neue Auto ist teuer. Was wirst du mit? Mit is a dative preposition. So we're going to say yours, so it's going to be dein. We're going to take the hut as a der word, changing to dame, add the em on to dein, you get deinem, and the dative, all adjectives in den en. So, was wirst du mit deinem alten, oder was wirst du mit deinem blauen Hut machen? Which, welches rote Auto magst du? Du hast keine gute Idee gehabt. Er rannte aus is a dative preposition, aus welchem brennenden Haus? Okay, so pretty complicated stuff here, but if you're up to the task, then hopefully this is a good exercise for you. Okay, 7 to 12. Ich habe mit is dative, so ihrem, because der Vater changed the dame, the em on that goes on ihr, so ihrem netten Vater gesprochen. Ich habe mit ihrem netten Vater gesprochen. Mein nominative here, alter Hund ist krank. Manche alte Männer sind weggegangen. Das ist mein, an eigen here is like an adjective, it means own. So mein eigenes Haus, das ist mein eigenes Haus, that's my own house. Und dann jedes alte Buch ist wichtig, ich habe keine gute Lösung. So hopefully you begin to understand why it's very critical. Then in German you begin to see, even at this level, that you be able to tell what case nouns are in. Okay. So now we're just going to come up with some English to German using some of these der and ein words. Klasse is a D word. Welche Klasse ist deine Klasse? Und I like to use the informal. Hast du dieses alte Lied gehört? Das ist sein neues Auto. Solche laute Musik ist nicht gestartet. Ich habe sein neues Buch gekauft. Ich werde jedes Mal gewinnen. Wo ist unser neues Auto? Und ich trinke von dative diesem alten Brunnen. Okay, so ich hoffe, dass das ein bisschen hilfreich war oder interessant war und hoffentlich hast du etwas dabei gelernt. So, I thank you for your time and your attention. Auf Wiedersehen.